Well, hi, everybody. Ralph Shaheen here with you out at a chilly early morning here in Las Vegas. We are at the bull ring here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. What, 3/8 of a
Yeah,
mile?
3/8. Yeah.
Davey Hamilton Jr. joining me here today. Davey is a five-time pavement sprint car champion, and he is also the winningest driver in a pavement sprint car in the last 2 years. Davey, this open wheel showdown is your brainchild.
Yeah.
What got you to doing this? Because you've never been a race promoter yourself, even though your family has been.
Yeah. No, I grew up watching my dad at Copper World and running Turkey Night at Irwindale, and I never was a part of an event like that. I wanted to, as a kid, run Focus Midgets with the Turkey Night at Irwindale, and just never got to do it. So the past few years, I've noticed that the pavement world's kind of been, going on a decline, and there's nobody else trying this. So I was like, you know what? My grandpa has experience, my dad has experience, so I might as well give it a shot.
Yeah, of course, your grandfather, very legendary driver himself, member of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Congratulations to him on that. This event is going to have three different categories running here this weekend. What are we going to see?
Yeah, so we have midgets, super modifieds, and sprint cars, wing sprint cars. And my vision when I first came up with this thing was it was initially going to be midgets, non-wing sprint cars, and wing sprint cars. I didn't really have super modifieds on it. We decided that it would be best to have just wing sprint cars to get more cars. And luckily we got 72 entries in the wing.
72 wing sprint cars.
Yeah, correct.
Holy cow.
It's the most that's ever been done on a pavement wise in a long time, right? So I'm not saying 72 guys will show up, but that's how many have paid to enter the race. And we'll see how many show up. But I think we have 105 teams total across the three classes here.
So what are we looking at in the other two categories?
About 20, 25.
20 to 25 midgets and the same as.
Yeah. Correct.
And with the supers, there's really two different categories of supers. There's the East Coast guys and the West Coast guys. Do we see some of both coming out here?
Yeah, we actually have Oswego, Oswego Speedway up in New York, the track champion, Dave Danzer.
Yeah.
He made the drive all the way from New York to come out here and race with these guys. And, he's they're different cars. They're a little different, but the West Coast guys are, it's open comp. So it's really bring what you want. Up in New York, it's all like you get tacked and it's everything like that. So here it's open comp to where whatever you build, you run it. And so it should be pretty exciting.
Pretty good purse payout too. $50,000 to win the sprint car stuff. I didn't know you had that much money.
It's all my money. No, it's great. In order to do an event like this to be successful long term, I think you need to really start it with a big bang. And of course, doing it in Las Vegas, it just makes sense to have the most money possible. And I have a lot of partners involved in this whole thing, and including myself. And so I think 50,000 is reasonable because dirt guys get to go race every week for that. So I think the pavement guys should as well.
I think 50 grand is a really good payout. Not many people leave Vegas with 50 grand in their pocket. A lot of people deposit that here, but they don't go home with that. How about the other two categories? What are they racing for there?
Yeah, so the midgets are racing for 10,000 to win. And, it's the midgets have been really in a tough spot the past few years of getting car count at Lucas Oil Raceway Park in Indy. And, I'm trying to help it because I enjoy racing midgets. I'm not racing a midget here, but I'd love to. I want to help survive the sport a little bit, revive it. And, we'll see. But 10,000 to win for a midget race is pretty good in today's world. And then the super modifieds, we got them racing for $5,000 to win, which my goal and my vision for this thing is each class every year is to grow bigger and better. Right now, we are only paying the people that make the A main race. We'd like to pay everybody that shows up, some sort of contingency award.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the sponsors that are helping you make this happen this year.
Yeah, I mean, there's 50 plus, including Speed Sport, right?
Yeah,
But Risk-On 360 came on board months ago, actually. And they're locally here in Las Vegas, so it's kind of a no-brainer for them. I've had a friendship with them for a couple of years, but what they do is basically a big conference here in Las Vegas, and they have a bunch of just successful people that come and talk about business, talk about stocks, talk about anything you want, really, just to fans. And so when I announced that this race is going to be here, they kind of called me up and they're like, "How do we get a part of it?" And they're used to being in the IndyCar world with Ben Nile and Ed Carpenter Racing, and that's kind of how I know them. And so it's cool to see them join the short track world.
Speaking of the IndyCar world, you got an IndyCar driver competing here as well, and Arie Luyendyk Jr.
Man, there's a couple. What's crazy is I actually have Buddy Rice coming today. and he ran.
know that.
Yeah, he's coming out today to watch and see the fans and everything like that. We have Mark Martin coming this weekend to come support the event.
Okay.
Bentley Warren.
Oh boy.
We have Kenny Hamilton that's ran IndyCar. My dad's ran IndyCar. Ari Landeck Senior's coming this weekend. So there's a lot of these legendary names that are coming out here just to endorse.
But Ari
this event.
Jr.'s actually going to race.
Ari Jr.'s racing. He is very confident in how he's going to do. so we'll see. I don't think he realizes these guys are tough, right? And it's really hard to compete with them. But Ari, he dashed very well the different cars, and luckily I'm his teammate, so I could teach him a lot.
So you're going to take the promoter hat off, put a helmet on. You're going to race a little, right?
I've quickly learned this week that I don't sleep, and I don't think that promoter hat's going to be coming off until I have the helmet on and it's green on track.
And
right?
you're going to run the sprint cars.
Yeah, just a sprint car race, and hopefully everything goes well. I'd like to win that, so I don't have to give away 50 grand.
Yeah. How about your old man? What's he going to do?
He's running the super modified. We had a sprint car for him to race, which would have been my spare car, but we couldn't get it ready in time. So he's just going to stick to the super modified stuff and go and try to win that class.
And then the Hall of Famer's going too, right? He's been in, he's been out, but now he's here. He sees everything his grandson's doing, and Grandpa's going, right?
It literally was I was told yesterday that my grandpa's going to actually race this event. And, at one point you think, all right, you're getting a little up there in age. Maybe you should just watch and hang out, but that's not my family at all. So he showed up here and luckily got an opportunity to drive for another team in a super modified. So him and my dad will be going at it in the supers.
Oh man, that in itself is going to be worth the price of admission. Speaking of that, how about ticket sales? There's a great grandstand here, wonderful viewing, and you get to see the air show for Nellis all day long too while you're out here. Seats still available in the grandstands, and I know you got basically open pit passes.
Yeah, so we're allowing and we're kind of pushing everybody to buy a pit pass, just because of the fact that our prices are actually pretty reasonable. And the pit passes get you access on the entire grounds. So just by buying a pit pass, you can interact with your favorite drivers, meet the teams, and also get in the grandstand area. So we're pushing people to kind of buy pit passes. We have unlimited, but if they just want a general admission just to sit in the grandstands, they could either come or they could go online to lvms.com.
Don't bring your camper though, because they're all sold out of camping, right?
We're sold out. We're sold out. So all of our RV spots, they actually load in today. And to see our RV lot, which surrounds the track, it's going to be really cool.
But there are hotels, of course, plenty of them down on the strip. And South Point is Host Hotel.
Yes, Host Hotel, South Point. They came on board too. They were one of the first people that actually wanted to be a part of this event as well. And I don't know if they're sold out, but we have a lot of their rooms covered. But there's a lot of hotels around here, obviously, and it's not too late to book a flight.
Yeah, check South Point first, though.
Yeah, check South Point first, of course.
Okay, one other thing you've done here that you don't get to see at a lot of short tracks is you got a really nice hospitality unit set up over here. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I wanted our event to, bring kind of like an IndyCar type thing to our sport, and that's how I know. The Riskon 360 and the BitNile guys is that my dad owns that hospitality unit, so they rent that for my dad for IndyCar weekends, and that's kind of how the friendship was made. And luckily, it was perfect timing because the hospitality unit actually had to drive through here, and I asked my dad if we could just keep it out here.
And nice.
And it's perfect for this track. It overlooks the track, and now my sponsors have a place to go, like a suite almost.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about some of the other drivers that are going to be here. I know Cody Swanson had a sprint car ride, then didn't have a ride, but he's going to run a midget. What's going on with Cody? Yeah,
so both Swansons actually ran into a similar situation. They're both going to be here running a midget, and that's going to be a good race, obviously. But it's unfortunate. I don't think Cody was actually aware that he didn't have a sprint car ride until, 2 weeks ago? And he was under the impression all year that they were going to run this race. So kind of sucks for him. I'm not going to lie.
Shocking.
Yeah, it is shocking. But it's almost too late to find a ride. You just can't find it at this late in the game.
How about Bobby Santos? There's another guy who's very strong on the pavement.
It's funny because me and him have built a really good friendship over the past year racing wing sprint cars together. We always park next to each other, and I learn a lot off him because he's one of the smartest in the sport. And it's great that I've had his endorsement of this event since day one. And me and him, I've talked to him about it since before this was announced, and had his help with this. And he's one of the best in the country, plain simple.
No doubt about it.
We will. This race is going to be very tough to get in. Obviously, if all 72 guys show up, you only 26 guys start the race. So there's 50 people basically that are going to be going home, unfortunately. So
What's the process going to be like? Here we are Thursday morning early, and the guys are already, the pit area is very active already this morning. What's going on over there today, and what are we looking at the rest of the week?
yeah, so today we have I think 6 hours of practice of on track activity. We have tech, which is kind of our way of doing things a little bit differently to tech the cars, knowing what is going out on track before they even hit the track. Tire selection for the weekend's going on. But today would be just a bunch of practice. And then tomorrow we have qualifying heat races. We have the pole shuffle, which will be very entertaining to watch. And then Saturday is all the features.
One thing I did like was you shut everybody out from testing, because racers being racers, 50 grand on the line, they would have been out here 5 months ago running laps, and you said no.
Yep, absolutely. And, people are actually trying to call the track and rent this place out to make laps because they wanted to, right? They want to win this race. Unfortunately, I am the promoter and I'm also a race car driver. So a lot of people think that I've been testing here. I wish that was the case,
Yeah.
but that's that. I wanted it to be fair for everybody. And, it's, we're all going into this not knowing anything. So Thursday or today, when we hit the track this afternoon, it's going to be a surprise for everybody.
This place is well known for running stock cars out here and Legends cars and a wide variety of stuff. And of course, the Busch brothers. But
Yep.
has there ever been a winged pavement sprint car race here at the Bullring?
Never.
Never. So nobody has any idea.
Nobody. So you can't even watch an onboard camera footage of
There's
whoever.
nothing on
There's
YouTube.
never.
There's nothing.
Nothing. There's super modifieds that have raced here in the past, and midgets have raced here in the past years ago. I think Tony Stewart was actually the last guy that won here in a midget, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it was Cody Swanson. It was one of those two. But the wing sprint car has never been here before. So, and I think this track is perfect for it. I think you're gonna have 4 lanes out there that people could run, especially on the start of the race, and it'll be pretty exciting.
Corners are a little bit tight. There's some banking there, but they're quite a hairpin type, very Martinsville-esque looking facility in a lot of ways, long straightaways, tight turns.
Yeah.
So how do you think that's going to play out?
It's going to be interesting because it's going to be kind of a wide entry, right? Wide entry going into the corner, and that could open the door for somebody to shoot it in on the inside, and hopefully it stays clean because that's kind of how wrecks happen, obviously. But this track, it's unique because it's not big enough to where everybody could just go out there, be full throttle, and it's whoever's the fastest. You have to have some.
You're gonna have to drive it.
You have to drive it. You have to brake. You have to lift. Make sure the wings are the right angle, and all your points have to be perfect to win this race. So, I wanted a track that was going to be challenging for everybody, and of course, we should do it at a track that nobody's ever been at before.
You're gonna earn your 50K.
You're gonna earn it. That's right.
So, with this place as well, I know, Las Vegas does a great job with the facilities here.
Yeah.
All the tracks here on this property are really nice.
Yes.
This first short track is great. Beautiful grandstands, nice box up top. Track looks really, really good. I know you've done a little work on the track itself. You put some PJ1 down to help.
Yeah, so I wanted people to run in that third, fourth groove. So last night we were all up here late, spraying the outer lanes. It looks like the inside lane is sprayed, but it wasn't. That's just where everybody usually races here. And then I wanted this place to be perfect for my event. So I actually helped them out in painting all the walls.
You did all the paint.
I didn't do all the paint. I didn't do anything. I just helped them out, kind of guide them a little bit.
Okay, gotcha.
But
did you get to choose a color?
I did. It was yellow. It's,
Okay.
You got to make it yellow. But we did something unique. So for pavement short track racing in the open wheel wise, people don't really do that choose your lane option.
Yeah.
Right. It's a NASCAR thing. But with this being such a huge event, Little 500 does single lane, restarts and stuff like that. So we're doing something unique where you could choose your lane. So you could have 10 guys on the outside and 1 guy on the inside if you want. But it's going to provide a unique way of entertaining the fans and providing the racers more opportunities.
That'll be every caution?
Every caution. And then we're not counting caution laps for the race either. So it's going to be all green racing. We're going to do a halfway break in the middle of the sprint car feature. And we're going to do pits, not pit stops. It's a break, and we're allowing teams to change things on their car halfway through, refuel, things like that, and get them going again.
Can you put a new right rear on?
You can put a new right rear on. That's it.
Just one tire.
Just one tire. And if you have a flat tire or you want to change another tire, you end up getting a lap taken away from you. There's no need to change unless you have a problem. So, but to give people the opportunity to put on a new right rear just makes it interesting.
And how many laps for the 50,000?
100 laps.
100 laps.
100 laps.
100 laps for 50,000.
It's funny because Ari, he doesn't have a lot of experience in a sprint car. So we did a test at Madeira. He was tired in 8 laps.
Oh, I bet.
So it's challenging when you have all that downforce really with these wing cars. You're hustling it at all
There's gonna
times.
be some guys falling out of the seat for sure.
There could be. I'm the smallest guy that runs a sprint car too,
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think everybody will be all right that has experience, but I think when it comes to guys that don't really run sprint cars all the time, it's going to be an awakening for him, aka Ari.
And what do you think a lap time is going to be?
I think we're going to see high 11s, maybe mid 11s. I think the supers last year running like low 12s, and I think our sprint cars will be close to that.
Definitely 2 wide racing, but you think we could even get 3?
I think if you see a restart, even the start of the race, I think you're going to see guys go up to that 4th group and just send it on the outside.
Wow.
And that's what I do, and I think this is a track that's perfect for it. And so it's going to provide some great racing. I don't think it's going to be a leader just checks out and gone, right?
Yeah. You could have gone anywhere in the country and put this race on. Why here?
Yeah, I could have chose Florida in the warm.
Yeah.
But no, I think with the amount of money that I have on the line and how nice this facility is, I think Vegas is just fitting. The fans, the teams, the drivers, now they can make a vacation out of coming to Vegas, right? So they go gamble, they go have fun, go experience the nightlife. On top of that, enjoy some of the best short track racing in the country here. So this track's beautiful. This facility's beautiful. The money that's on the line, I think it's just fitting.
Normally I would say coming to Vegas at this time of year would be a great idea. You've already had NHRA out here just recently. You just had NASCAR out here recently. And I think they did something down on the strip not too long ago, didn't they?
I think so.
I think so. There's been a lot of activity out here motorsports wise that has really been big stuff. But here you come and it hasn't hurt this event at all.
Not at all. And that's one thing that I wanted to do with my event was that I didn't want to compete with any sort of other racing series. So I think this weekend you have the Snowball Derby down in Florida.
It's 2 different crowds though, right?
2 different crowds, and they might even be getting weather this weekend.
Yeah.
So it may not even happen. But regardless, our event is perfect timing of the year for these types of cars because we're not competing with anything at all. So,
and do you see that being a difference too? Because you're talking about NHRA and NASCAR, I would say, okay, yeah, there's a big difference, and certainly a difference between Formula One and what you're doing here. So is the crowd very different, or are you seeing some bleed over from some of it?
I think both, right? I mean, it's a little bit of bleed over. I mean, the fact that Mark Martin wants to come, I mean, he hasn't ran a wings pavement sprint car before.
Yeah,
So I think it's just a bunch of race fans. They want to go see racing. And, it's cold here. So all these guys here are doing it because they love the sport. So not everybody's having fun in the cold, but they're here because they just have passion for it. And I don't think we're hurting on fans for sure. I think we're going to have I do think that the fans are going to be, or the grandstands are going to be sold out. Or not sold out. It's going to look sold out anyways because we just have kind of
be the promoter.
tickets.
It's going to be sold out.
It's going to be sold out, right? But this place on Saturday night when the feature's getting going, I think it's going to be standing room around this whole place. It's going to be awesome.
Has it been difficult to get support from the local media and that sort of thing? Because obviously they have been heavily involved covering Formula One and all the stuff that happened with that.
Yeah, surprisingly it is. It is tough with the local media. They aren't familiar with these cars. So they're coming out here and supporting my event, but they really don't, they've never seen a wing sprint car before. They don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
So this weekend is going to be kind of an eye opener for them to hopefully help our next year, give them a little bit of excitement going into next year. But it's just something that they didn't know about before. So it's new for them.
I know as soon as you announced this, you started getting phone calls from other racetracks.
Yeah.
If everything goes well this weekend, are you thinking that this is going to be the permanent home for this, like Copper World was at Phoenix, or are you looking to take this event and move it around, or don't know yet?
I mean, there's a lot of things in the works. I'm not going to lie to you. There's some other opportunities with other racetracks for sure. But, I mean, Vegas is just so fitting for this event and with what I'm doing and the type of racing that I'm wanting to provide for the fans and our teams anyways. And so realistically, I'd love to be here moving forward, but we'll see what happens. I mean, everything's in the works, right? So hopefully come Monday, we'll have kind of some headway of what we're doing.
Running a 410 wing sprint car, people are familiar with that. They see them all around the country, but they don't necessarily see them on pavement. Not a lot of groups do that. How different is the car from what you see at a World of Outlaw or a High Limits event to what is going to be running on here?
I mean, they're basically pretty close to the same cars. I mean, just different chassis, and obviously you don't have dirt tires or dirt. You're not going on dirt, which there's a lot of dirt sprint car fans out there for sure, but I don't think they've seen a lot of pavement wing sprint car racing. So I think if you go to a race, it's kind of shocking on how fast our speeds are. We're not spinning the tires as much as they are, or, sliding around, which is cool and doing the slide jobs. But our cars are just so fast on pavement, and yeah, I don't know all the differences, but the big one is obviously just the dirt. We don't like things getting dirty in our sport.
Yeah. How different do you have to drive the car?
Well, I don't even have a lot of dirt experience, right?
Yeah.
So I did Corey Kruzman's dirt sprint car school I think it was last week actually, and that was my first time getting sideways. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, is this right? Intentionally sideways. There you go. So the driving, when you go to like Justin Grant, which he's racing this event as well, so he's got a ton of dirt experience. It's almost, I'm kind of curious to talk to him a little bit about what that difference might be on how he has to adapt, because he's a guy that goes back and forth, where I am now just making that transition going into next year with running the Silver Crown Series.
Yeah. As you grow this event, you've got 3 categories running here this year. Copper World always had a 4th with stock cars. Any thoughts of having a 4th category as part of this going into 24?
Absolutely. I mean, there's been other series that have called me trying to get involved. What's crazy is that I actually wanted to have Focus Midgets a part of this event as well. I've had families, young kids that want to race here because they get to race with their heroes. Yeah. Exactly. So that's how I grew up. That's why I'm doing this event. I try to get the Focus Midget series involved, and unfortunately, I just weren't really interested in doing it, which is kind of shocking with this event. So we might have to do our own type Focus event next year. But realistically,
you would keep it open wheel?
It would always be open wheel. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't say always, but there's opportunities out there. But I would like to keep this an open wheel thing because it's an open wheel showdown, so just kind of fitting.
Yeah. So what has been the biggest challenge for you as a first-time promoter?
Sleep.
Sleep deprivation.
Sleep, yeah. I don't sleep anymore at all. I mean, it's just your brain's moving a million miles an hour, right? Making sure everybody has what they need. We ran into issues with the credit card machines again, which is just something that it's trial and error. If you don't have Wi-Fi or 4G service or anything like that, making sure all the lines are painted, all the stuff's repainted, redone. I wanted it to be perfect for this event. Making sure all the RV guys have their exact spots. I had to help set up that hospitality tent. I'm out here yesterday helping put that together. And, on top of that, then my race team, I'm really hands-on with. So helping them get their stuff ready. And it's an organization that you have to make sure everything goes simple and clean and proper. But luckily I hired enough people for this event to where everybody's kind of doing their part. And it's making it a little bit easier on me, but I have to stress about it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about how everybody's going to be able to see it. If you can't make it here, you can see the race live streamed on speedsport.tv, and then it will be re-aired later on Speed Sport 1. So there's a lot of great coverage for the event too.
Oh yeah, thanks to you.
Yeah, no, well, we're really excited about being a part of this, Davey.
Yep.
It's this weekend, December 1st and 2nd, here at the Bull Ring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Davey Hamilton Jr.'s Open Wheel Showdown. $50,000 to win. 410 wing sprint car race on pavement, 100 laps Saturday nights, plus midgets, plus super modifieds. It's going to be an unbelievable. Every time I say it, I can't believe I'm saying that's all going to happen here Saturday night at the Bull Ring. Wow. It's going to be a wild show. Live, speedsport.tv, or see it later on Speed Sport 1. For Davey Hamilton Jr., I'm Ralph Shaheen. Francisque, let's go back to you folks there with ePartrade and our buddies at Racer.
Thank you very much, Ralph. And that was a first ever live from Las Vegas. I mean, that's the beauty. That was a real life. And we wanted to try.
What a setup they have. And the drivers that are coming in. It was amazing to hear all the names.
Registering on ePartrade is easy. To start, click on the Join for Free button on the homepage. First, search your company to see if it's already in our database. If you see your company on the list, click on it to select it. Then, choose Claim Company if you are one of the decision makers, an owner, marketing person, or main company contact. or choose Join Company if you are an employee, and press Continue. If you couldn't find your company in our database, select Register a New Company. On the following page, fill out your name, email, phone number, job title, and choose a secure password. If you chose Register a New Company, you'll need to choose your business type. Select Supplier if you're looking to display products or services and connect with buyers. Choose Racing Business if you're looking to source new parts and connect with suppliers. Choose Race Team if you own or are a member of a professional race team. Then, enter your company name. Please provide a website, Facebook page, or LinkedIn if you have one, and choose to either claim or join the company. You can view and agree to our terms of use here. If you'd like to receive our weekly newsletter, choose Accept. Finally, click Register Now and your registration will be submitted for approval. An email will be sent to your inbox. Please confirm your email address and you will be approved shortly. Welcome to eParTrade.